friends, and welcome to another episode of the Urban Homesteading channel. If this is the first time you're visiting with us, we want to extend to you a very warm welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. We really appreciate you visiting again. If today is your birthday, we want to wish you a very, very happy birthday. Last weekend we built for you this planter, and we built it using cedar posts. Again, I like to call them posts. Cedar fencing pickets. A lot of times in woodworking forums and in general, people talk about how cedar ages and is damaged by water, which is not true, right? And they're talking about this planter that we made a couple of years ago.
I want to say last summer.
Was made probably by the same batch of cedar than this was, right? And as you can see, it has attained that nice gray color, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you go and see there, you might want to go and
see where. What are we looking
on
at?
my office.
What are we looking at here? Okay.
And that was cedar, the same color as the cedar we did last weekend.
And by that, we are referring to, where's my finger? We're referring to this.
Are you giving the finger to our viewers?
Yeah. We're referring to this little overhang that we built for over the door so that in inclement weather, you could stand there without getting wet. And also it provides just a touch of shade as well, right?
And you can see it has silver as well, right?
Yeah, and it has attained a very nice silver color.
And so what you see is we went from this look down here
Mm-hmm.
to this silvery look,
Mm-hmm.
right? And here you see our corners have opened. And the reason for that is I'm going to try in a future project to actually glue the corners.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that will work, but this happens because of contraction and expansion, right?
Right.
So the last thing I want to show you is this star, which is made of the same cedar
Mm-hmm.
planks, right? And as you can see, this has not grayed.
Mm-hmm.
Yet this was made before the first planter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now you can see it is not as bright as the one we built last week, but it is definitely not gray.
Right. And so why is that?
That is because of a common myth. People think that the graying is because of water. It is not. It's actually because of UV light, right?
Okay.
So if you keep it outside of UV light, it will not silver. If you keep it in UV light, it will silver. And that is dispelling another myth. Even if we were to put poly on this, clear poly, it will still silver because it is the UV, and the polyurethane does not stop the UV rays. Does it make sense?
Yep.
So in this short episode, we wanted to dispel those myths, right? In fact, if wood does not sit directly on water, it does not go bad, no matter what people want to believe. And there are very examples of that. You see that post there by the soap?
The one that's
Right.
this one.
It has been there embarrassingly for a long period of time.
Yes.
But it is on top of a paver, and it does not sit on water, and there is zero damage to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
The same way, if you see those pieces of wood that are on our little green machine,
The green cart. Mm-hmm.
these are non-treated. In fact, what we used for last week's project, we took from that pile, right?
Some of it.
And it has, I'm not talking about the cedar now, I'm talking about the base, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it has been out in the rain, I would say easily for 6 months, don't you think?
Yeah.
It has rained a lot in 6 months. There is zero damage. In fact, if you want to see it, you can see there is not even, you wouldn't know that this was in the water for 6 months, would you?
So these three boards were out there on the green cart, but they look just as good as.
And again, the reason for that is, and that's why we put them actually on the little trolley thing, because that drains. It has a mess underneath that doesn't
Right.
hold water, right?
Right.
So as long as your wood is not on water, it will not really change much.
So it's not in standing water, even though it's
Right.
been exposed to water.
Correct. So that is a myth, you know.
Okay.
So protecting it with a clear coat will protect the wood, but not the silvering of the wood, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you want to prevent the silvering, you need some form of stain, something that actually interacts with the wood in a way that will change the chemical composition of the wood and will not allow the UV rays to damage it, right?
Okay.
And even then, as you probably know, by furniture you might have close to a window that has a lot of sun. UV rays are pretty ruthless, right? It is very hard to protect things against UV rays.
We know that even for people's skin.
Right.
That's an issue. Mhm.
So don't be confused with what people say. Again, this is totally untreated. It is easily 2 years old.
Mhm.
And it spent a lot of its life actually on the deck. We recently put it on the wall, right? So it was not even that it was not in the weather, it was in the weather.
It just was not in direct
It
sunlight.
was not in direct sunlight, and that is the only difference. We try on this channel to talk about myths and dispel those myths, right? And one of the myths we dispelled recently was the gluing part, right? Not to glue areas that are end grain. And we found out that this is totally a myth. That doesn't work. It's a good practice to put glue in every two surfaces that connect, right? So if you want us to dispel more myths, let us know in a comment below. If you enjoyed this episode, give us a thumbs up. If you didn't, you need to press the thumbs down button twice. Share, like, subscribe, and let us know what else you might want us to discuss in this channel. From Dr. Wizard, Mrs. Wizard, Elpida, and the Urban Homesteading channel, farewell, friends.